Hey, how's it going, folks? If you're just joining us, my name is Teo Sager. This is Selling with Teo. And before we begin, I do want to preface that this episode is going to be geared towards those buyers who can participate in this market. However, we do know the effects of what COVID-19 is having across our globe and within our communities. So that being said, if you are in or around Los Angeles County, I've included a Google Drive hyperlink below. It's basically a Los Angeles mass resource guide. It's a compilation of information and resources that includes, but not limited to, the food schedules with LAUSD, mental health services, domestic abuse services, utilities, unemployment insurance, and also has information for short-term help in regards to grants, specific industries like food and beverage, entertainment, and so forth. So whether or not you can benefit from this, I would say please still share it because somebody you might know can. So you're a home buyer, you're looking to participate in this market and take advantage of these market conditions. But what does that look like for you in this whole shelter at home order? Well, as of March 28th, 2020, the United States Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, and Infrastructure Security Agency has officially updated their essential list to include commercial and residential real estate. So if it boils down to you wanting to see a property and this is the last option for you before you make that decision, our brokers and lawyers have officially issued a COVID-19 release form that all parties must sign before entering the premise. However, even though that release form is an option, we are still urged by our local government and our officials to continue to practice social distancing and to limit face-to-face interactions, which has essentially ceased all open houses. Here are some tools that you can implement to help better shape your experience as a home buyer during this climate. So this tool that I'm going to recommend is actually a very common sense one. It's actually very common in and of itself in our market here in Los Angeles is video. Listing agents, including myself, I love to shoot videos. I would definitely recommend asking both the edited and unedited versions, or maybe also ask for raw footage through an iPhone. So I would reach out to the seller's camp and be like, hey, can somebody at home record video for us? Whether it be FaceTime, Zoom, WhatsApp, whatever technology or app you like to utilize to convey that, I would say definitely take advantage of. Or if somebody from the seller's camp be there, or it's vacant, however that situation plays out, I would definitely offer myself up to record video. I actually do this a lot. Before COVID-19 and even years ago, I would take opportunities during Brokers Open and shoot video just to sort of pre-screen properties for my clients, because a lot of times my clients are either traveling for work or busy work during the weekdays, and it gives us an opportunity to see whether or not this is a property that's right for them. So we won't waste time scheduling an appointment or going to the open houses and so forth. So this tool that I recommend, regardless of COVID-19 and the current climate, it's Google Maps. If you utilize their satellite function, you can hone in on a specific subject property and not only check out the aesthetic and the exterior of the house, but you can also check out the landscaping as well as the neighborhood. However, if you're local and you want to get out for a moment, but meanwhile still practicing social distancing, I would say go ahead and get in your car and drive around the neighborhood. Go ahead and take photos and videos of your own aside from Google Maps and scope out the lay of land. I definitely still recommend this prior or after, regardless of the climate, to check out the distance from your subject property towards your work and so forth, and even during periods of time. Even though in Los Angeles there's literally no traffic, however, it's always good to get comfortable with that experience, and specifically at night too, so you understand what's happening around the neighborhood at night and the activity that you should be aware of. Google's satellite feature actually puts the user experience through a virtual world, which actually segues into our next tool that I recommend, which is going to be more important than ever to implement, whether you're a listing agent or a buyer's agent, and as a consumer, is for those virtual tours. There's a big booming company, you might have heard of them, you might have not, but it's called Matterport. Matterport basically is a publishing company for 3D locations with the use of a 3D camera. It's more important than ever because actually you get to experience what it's like to be in the house within the vicinity of your home without having to interact with other folks. So what happens if you did identify a property and you utilize all the tools necessary for you to make the decision that this is the house or condo for you. So if you use Google Maps, you drove around the neighborhood, you checked out the videos, the photos, you checked out the Matterport, and you're like, I want to now access the inside of it. But what happens if the seller says no? What happens instead, most times the sellers would be like, I still want to take precautions in regards to the climate of what's happening today, so I will allow you access upon receipt of an accepted offer. What does that look like for you? What does that mean? Well, it means that you're able to enter the property upon opening escrow through your inspection period. Reminder, your inspection period is actually your biggest opportunity to cancel. So you can cancel for whatever reason. It could be because a fortune teller told you to, or because you actually lost your job. Or you can cancel because you did upon enter the property, you completed your inspections, and you discover something about the house that didn't sit well with you. So, upon receipt of canceling and all parties signed, you're able to then get your EMD back, which is your earnest money deposit. This whole idea of enter a property upon receipt of an offer isn't actually uncommon. It's utilized with a lot of folks who own properties with tenants that occupy it. So regardless if it's a condo, single family, or multi-unit, they weed this out to sort of minimize the inconvenience it yields towards the tenant, but also it just shows who are actually the more serious buyers. If you're curious to know what we'll be utilizing during this whole process in regards to streamlining not only the transaction, but also keeping our social distancing, well, foremost, before we get into the contracts, we'll be actually drafting them up and I'll send them via email. From that point forth, we'll go ahead and schedule a Zoom chat or whatever face-to-face app you'd like to utilize, and then we'll go over the fine print of those contracts. Once we're ready and confident in regards to what that looks like for us and how that offer looks like, we'll go ahead and send them through DocuSign. DocuSign is my favorite e-signature software there is today. It's very intuitive, user-friendly. It only takes a couple of taps, and then next you know it, the document is executed. So what happens if you have an accepted offer? Easy. First off, congratulations. Second of all, expect things to happen normally. Even prior to COVID-19, during this time now, even during this climate, we're still going to hire an inspector. From this point forward, they're also going to take the precautions in regards to having them be protected during this time as well. So whether or not they're entering the attic, or it's a condo, or they're entering under the house to inspect the foundation, they're going to wear their own protective wear to take care of themselves too. However, once they've concluded their inspections, we'll schedule a Zoom chat or a Google Hangouts where we all can get together and go over the findings of the report. From there, we can answer any questions that you may have, just so you're confident in regards to the findings of the report in and of itself. There are a lot of times when the buyer can't be present. So even prior to COVID-19, I've experienced this a lot where buyer can't be present. I'll either be there, or most of the times the inspector will actually record an audio note during the whole entire time, and they recorded an audio note throughout the whole inspection of itself, and then we'll schedule a Zoom chat and then go over the audio notes and then have questions prepared just for the inspector to answer for themselves. Other than that, the same thing happens for any specialty inspector too. So whether you're hiring somebody for mold, sewer, roof, and so forth, we'll proceed accordingly with that as well. Additionally, if I'm representing the seller in this transaction, I might suggest to the seller, hey, why don't we do pre-listing inspections? Specifically, if the seller is still occupying the house when we hit the market live, we want to be able to provide that information to the buyers in their camps, and so that they can write their offers accordingly, and not only prepare them, but also we can minimize the amount of traffic that comes through the house as well. So as a friendly review of today's tools, feel free to use them in any way possible that makes you feel confident about entering and also participating in this market. With respect to practicing social distancing, yes, there are disclosures and there's release forms, but also we have to be aware of how it affects other people. So in the meantime, feel free to use the virtual tours, Google Maps, get in your car and drive around within the safety of your car, practicing social distancing, check out the neighborhood, go different times, and feel free to ask for more videos or different photos or whatever you might need to feel like, hey, this is what it takes for you to make a more confident decision. Feel free to ask. And even ask your agents. We're supposed to be here to be able to make you feel confident in the whole process, and at the same time make you protected, as well as your EMD and any other assets that pertain to you. We're here to make sure that's protected as well. Hey folks, thank you so much for watching Selling with Teo. If you enjoyed our content, feel free to press the subscribe button. And if you have any questions, comments, or additional topics you'd like to discuss, feel free to drop me a message as well. Other than that, see you next time.